Thanks, Steve. And just a quick shout out to Irene, because I have a few colleagues that have done her executive MBA, and they're doing well. So yeah, I just wanted to touch base. We're responsible for providing onboard solutions, not actually within the port. You know, historically we've provided these solutions that you can see behind me. And we're seeing quite a significant transition to digital, and an even quicker push now that you know, with the COVID and the requirement for remote sort of services. So I will share, and hopefully you can see this presentation. Okay, so just to run through it, our company is you know, it's a large American company. You know, Sperry Marine provides, as you can see in the top right-hand corner, systems, which is your integrated bridge system, and also steering systems, as well as products and sensors. And you know, we support that in terms of product supports globally. What we're seeing now, though, we have now a new sector where we have digital, and we're now investing a lot of money and a lot of time in, you know, how we can adapt to digitalization on board, but also help the solutions to our clients. You know, at the end of the day, it's about getting you know, good safety from A to B in the most efficient manner. And you know, at the moment we're seeing that you know, connectivity is a major factor for that as well. So it covers a whole variety of different sorts of segments. So what we see in the industry in terms of fleet operational challenges, key trends which are driving it. First of all, a lot more ship owners and ship managers are saying, well, look, we want information from the vessel. You know, the autonomous vessels are now becoming more of a reality. I think it's a bit of a way to go. You know, the broadband is increasing on board the ships, so they're taking more and more information. And then we're seeing, of course, the different boundaries into optimization of sensors that are on board. You know, how can they communicate with the likes of the port, you know, and with the head office, you know, and you know, also how can they make things a little bit easier on board the vessel. So if I start from here. So, you know, in terms of the digitalization for Sperry Marine, the sort of solutions, what we're finding is we're seeing a bit of a trend in the industry at the moment. So, you know, it started off with a single product, then IBS, and, you know, currently Sperry Marine, we're at the smart services sort of sector at the moment, which is on board the vessel. We think it's going to move even further to smart fleet diagnostics, logistics, and also port services. We've seen this cover, you know, a lot more requests from owners and ship management companies in terms of, you know, cyber security, but also in terms of vessel efficiency. We had a master in our office yesterday talking about, but there can be also too much information. You know, they're looking for the captains to look out the window sometimes, you know, and sometimes if they've got too much information on the bridge, that can also have an effect. So we think digital will drive that sort of efficiency. For Sperry Sphere, for ourselves, we're looking at you know, the back of the bridge sorts of solutions. So there's a deviation between front of the bridge and back of the bridge, where you have front of the bridge which is regulated, and the back of the bridge is more used for data transfer. It comes with certain concerns from, you know, from ship management companies and ship owners, because they basically say, well, look, do I really want to connect the ship? You know, in terms of cyber security and the concerns with that. But we're seeing that the risks of onboard USBs and the sort of information that can be transferred while on board the vessel, to mitigate that risk and have it controlled from the office is something that ship managers are willing to look into as well. So, we have equipment on board some of the world's largest ships. These vessels have recently been delivered. On the right, you can see the front of the bridge where you have all your SOLAS equipment, and on the left, you have your back of the bridge system, which is basically a very large iPad. It communicates directly to the office. They can extract fleet information, port docking information. They can also extract vessel efficiency information like fuel costs as well, fuel efficiency, and they study the route and which can go back and forth from the office to the vessel. So it's becoming a lot more remote. For ourselves, we have a VBOS system where we can extract certain information from the front of the bridge, so we can actually know what's wrong with the vessel before it even arrives to the port. And I think it's moving in that sort of direction at the moment. In terms of, as I mentioned, in terms of voyage planning and the risks that we see, environmental concerns are also there. We're looking at the new regulations which are coming up. We know the efficiency of the ship, through the systems, the better it navigates, the less the less environmental impact it will have. And for ourselves, we look at small margin gains as well. The fact that we implement certain docking systems with owners and tailor-make solutions to basically say, well, look, can we speed up the vessel docking by, I don't know, 20, 30, 45 minutes, over the vessel's, let's say, duration in the port. Overall, in terms of delivering the cargo, that can add to the, it can make some significant savings over the annual plan for the vessel. Again, this is where we see it going. Secure network from ship to shore, cloud-based, and and offering this connectivity. Again, it's always, we have an air bridge, and it's like an air gap, so they're always disconnected, but it seems seamlessly the way it communicates. So mitigating risk on the cyber security, we're looking at again more on the time saving and the client focus. What I would like to do is, if you allow me, I'd like to jump back to one slide where we look at challenges and the fleet operational challenges. We know that owners are saying, well, look, we want people off the ship. We don't want them coming onto the ship, especially during COVID. So we'd like to see, less access to the vessel when repairs or when information needs to be shared. In terms of efficiency and stability, we know there's going to be a shortage of seafarers and officers. It's predicted by 2025 there's going to be 147,000 shortage in terms of ship officers. So they're moving in that sort of direction in terms of making it easier on board the vessel. And then on the safety side, we know that the human factor represents around about 65% of accidents, and they are, especially when going into the port, that equates to around about 30 to 40% of incidents when docking. You mentioned, Steve, about high workload on board the ships. I think Graham mentioned this as well. We see this, and we see that solutions can be made on board to mitigate that, to reduce the amount of work for the master and also communicate directly with the port. We also find that the industry is very much fragmented. So, in terms of protocols, everybody has their own protocol and solution to go on board, but you're stuck with it. You know, there's no consistent protocol where a master may say, well, look, you know, this is a more efficient system to go on board that can communicate with the port. Can we have it at the back of the bridge? Usually it's an embedded solution, and we're trying to look at the agnostic approach. So if you have solutions that work for you, you know, it's something that can be embedded in. And I've already highlighted about the cost for the virus. If it goes down, it can be pretty catastrophic. You know, charts and LinkedIn charts. I've got a couple more slides left, which basically are linked to, you know, voyage planning. We see ship owners now saying, you know, from the autopilot all the way through to how the vessel is managed. You know, can they cut and paste routes, or can they take the optimal routes? You know, it's something that we foresee is going to become more and more important. Route transferring and sharing best practices across the vessels, it's something that you know, will continue. And my final slide is about the vessel management and what's planned, you know, how we plan this. We have to work with the ship owners, and we've got to work with the ports to make sure we can implement these solutions and share the information. You know, procurement headaches, you know, when they're on board. Again, these sorts of solutions can be shared right across, should be able to share right across all sectors, and we think it's moving in the right direction. So apologies for dropping off. It's one of those internet issues, I'm afraid, but I think that about covers it from my side.